Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have learnt about the shape and size of cells, cells as the structural and functional units, observation of cells, and the staining of cells. Today, we are going to discuss about the structure and the functions of the cell. Okay, first is structure of a cell. A cell is filled with a jelly-like living material called the protoplasm. When observed under a microscope, most of the plants and animals will show two different regions in the protoplasm. One is the dark spot at the central region called as the nucleus, and the remaining fluid-filled part is called as the cytoplasm. Okay, before learning about the cell organelles, we just recall about the prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So what do you mean by prokaryotes and eukaryotes? What is the difference between them? In certain organisms such as bacteria and blue-green algae, the nucleus is not well organized and is not bounded by a nuclear membrane. Such organisms are called as prokaryotes. In prokaryotes, pro means primitive and karyon means nucleus. So, the organisms which has very primitive nucleus are called as the prokaryotes. On the other hand, in eukaryotes, U means true and karyon means nucleus. Those organisms which have a well organized nucleus with a nuclear membrane is called as the eukaryotes. However, the red blood cells are eukaryotes. They are unique in the sense that they do not have a nucleus. Are you clear about the prokaryotes and eukaryotes? So, the organisms in which the nucleus is not well organized and is not bounded by a nuclear membrane are called as the prokaryotes, and those organisms in which they have a nucleus with well organized nuclear membrane are called as the eukaryotes. Okay, now get back to the cell structure. Cytoplasm. Among the two distinguished regions in a cell, the cytoplasm is the fluid-filled part. The fluid will be like a jelly. In this cytoplasm, there are many dissolved enzymes, amino acids, sugars, and other molecules. The cell uses these molecules to maintain life. Most of the chemical reactions takes place in the cytoplasm, and there are several extremely small structures called as the cell organelles. And these cell organelles are present in the cytoplasm. Next, cell membrane. Cell membrane is the outer thin covering that covers the fluid part that is in the cytoplasm. The cell membrane is also called as the plasma membrane. This cell membrane is porous and allows the materials to move into and out of the cell. Okay, next we move on to the cell organelles which are covered by the cell membrane. The cell is like a tiny factory because it manufactures or synthesizes whatever it requires. And these syntheses are carried out inside the cell by certain small structures called as the cell organelles. And these cell organelles carry some specific functions. Can you name a few cell organelles? So for example, nucleus, mitochondria, ribosomes, lysosomes are some of the cell organelles. There are many cell organelles that are common for both the plants and animals. Let me discuss them in detail. First is nucleus. See, this is the nucleus. It controls the activities of the cell. That is why the nucleus is said to be the control center of a cell. The nucleus is bounded by a membrane called nuclear membrane. And this membrane is porous and allows the movement of materials in and out of the nucleus. The fluid inside the nucleus is called as the nucleoplasm. Inside this nucleoplasm, there is a suspended spherical body called the nucleolus. Inside the nucleus, we can see a number of thread-like bodies called chromosomes, and these chromosomes are made up of DNA. What do you mean by DNA? DNA is the deoxyribonucleic acid. So, what is the role of the chromosomes? Chromosomes carry the genes. What do you mean by genes? Genes are the units of inheritance. That is, the genes are responsible for the transfer of characters from parents to offsprings. So, what we have learnt about the nucleus? The nucleus controls the activities of the cell. It is bounded by a nuclear membrane. It has a nucleoplasm and nucleolus and chromosomes and genes. Next is microtubules. The cell has a framework of fine tubules called as the microtubules and fiber-like structure called microfilaments. So, there are microtubules and microfilaments. These both microtubules and microfilaments maintains the structure and shape of the cell. Next is vacuoles. There are many sac-like structures present in the cell called as the vacuoles. Food vacuoles contain food, and the contractile vacuoles are specialized vacuoles that accumulates the excess water and remove it from the cell. Next, mitochondria. See this is the mitochondria. It is a rod-like structure and it is called as the powerhouse of the cell. Whenever a plant cell or an animal cell requires energy, the glucose molecules that are stored are broken down to release energy, and this process is called as the cellular respiration. This cellular respiration takes place in the mitochondria. That is why the mitochondria is called as the powerhouse of the cell. Next organelle is endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is of two types. They are rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And this endoplasmic reticulum produces the proteins and lipid contents in the cell. It also helps in the transport of proteins. Next is ribosomes. Ribosomes are the sites of protein synthesis in the cell. Then the molecules are transported in and out of the cell by the Golgi apparatus. Next is lysosome. Lysosome contains enzymes which digest the proteins and fats. When a cell gets damaged, the lysosomal enzymes are released, and the released enzymes break down the components of the damaged cells and make them available for the use by the surrounding cells. Next is centriole. During the cell division, the cell gets divided. During cell division, the centriole helps in the movement of the chromosomes. The centriole is absent in some plants. Next is flagella or cilia. See, these hair-like structures are called as the flagella or cilia. Among this, the flagella is long and fewer in number, while the cilia are short and numerous. We know that cilia and flagella helps in the movement of the organism. Another function is the cilia that lines up the trachea removes the foreign particles. What do you mean by trachea? Trachea means windpipe. So, we have discussed about the organelles that are present in a cell. Next, we move on to the plant cell. A typical plant cell contains an additional membrane called as the cell wall. The cell wall is the outermost boundary of a plant cell and it is formed of cellulose. The cellulose is a non-living material. This cell wall is tough and rigid and provides strength and protection to the plant cell. The plant cell is porous. Porous means it allows the water, oxygen, carbon dioxide to enter in and out of the cell. Apart from these organelles that we learnt earlier like mitochondria, ribosomes, nucleus. The plant cell has some unique organelles that distinguish it from the animal cell. Central vacuole. See, this is the central vacuole present in a plant cell. In the center, it has a large cavity called as the central vacuole. This central vacuole is filled with cell sap, which is a watery fluid. This large central vacuole pushes the cytoplasm, that is the nucleus, and all the other cell organelles towards the outer boundary of the cell. So, central vacuole is the largest cavity that is present at the center of a plant cell, which is filled with a cell sap. Next is plastids. There are a number of colored bodies scattered in the cytoplasm of the plant cell, which is called as the plastids. Among these, the green colored plastids are called as the chloroplast. These are sac-like organelles that contains the green pigment called as the chlorophyll. And this chlorophyll is required for the process of photosynthesis. Next is animal cell. The animal cell is surrounded by a thin, flexible cell membrane. Nucleus is in the center, which is surrounded by the cytoplasm. This cytoplasm contains many vacuoles. Animal cells do not have chloroplast. Now, see the main differences between the plant cell and animal cell. In the plant cell, the outermost layer is the cell wall and it is made up of cellulose. At the same time, in the animal cell, the outermost layer is thin, flexible cell membrane. In the plant cell, it has chloroplast, but the animal cells does not have chloroplast. The third point is, most of the plant cells have large central vacuole in the cytoplasm, but the animal cells does not have a large vacuole, that is, it has small vacuoles in the cytoplasm. Are you clear about the cell structure and their organelles? Next is tissues. Cells are grouped to perform similar functions. Such groups of similar cells are called as the tissues. If we observe a potato peel under a microscope, we can see the cells that are arranged end to end forming a thin layer. This layer is called as the epidermis, which is the outermost protective part of the stem, root, leaf or a fruit. Tissue has more than one type of cells. For example, blood is a tissue and it is made up of red blood cells, white blood cells, blood platelets and blood plasma. This blood plasma is the liquid portion of the blood. See this image? So, a group of cells forms tissues and different tissues forms organ, and the organs are grouped to form an organ system, and the organ system leads to an organism. So what is a cell? Cell is the smallest unit of living organism, and tissues are mostly formed of cells of the same structure and function, and the organs are formed of different types of tissues. The organ systems are the several organs that together perform a particular function, and the organism is that all the organ systems aggregate to form the organism. So today we have learnt about the structure and functions of the cell and the differences between the plant cell and the animal cell and the tissues. Okay students, we have completed the 8th lesson. Thank you students.